Hey guys, welcome to an exclusive episode of TcgTips. I'm going to talk about the top 10 best cards in our playable HeartGold soulsilver format, up to the next Destiny set. So let's get going. Don't want to waste any time here. Number 10. Jairam. Jairam is just an extremely well card. 130 HP is good because then it keeps itself right out of the one-hit KO range of 120 damage attacks, which are very common. Outrage for double colorless does 10 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon with an additional 20. And Glaciate for 2 water energies in the colors does 30 to each Pokemon on your opponent's side of the field, which is just absolutely cheap. It works well in Cake, and it is an underrated card, but hell, Jairam is just a very, very playable card that works well in a lot of decks. Number 9. Typhlosion Prime. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this one, but you have to realize that it technically created the deck Typhlosion, which is by far one of the strongest decks ever created. Its ability Afterburner is something special. Choose one of the fire energies in your discard pile, and then attach it to one of your Pokemon. Then put 1 damage counter on the Pokemon you attach it to. That is awesome. I mean, honestly, just imagine you have Reshiram and you get to use Blue Flare every single turn because you can take back the energies that you discard with the attack. Flare Destroy is also decent, but I wouldn't recommend using it much. However, Typhlosion Prime has a nice 140 HP, which is going to need 2+ powers to be knocked out by Reshiram and Zekrom. Ty Prime is awesome. Number 8. Cabal Ian. Cabal Ian looks amazing. His full art form is just so cool looking. His first attack, Energy Press, for 20 damage, a metal, and a colorless, does 20 for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon, so it's decent. However, its second attack, Iron Breaker, is the main reason why this card is so playable. For 2 metals and a colorless, you do 80 damage and your opponent can't even attack next turn. This is downright cheap and amazing. The 120 damage does bring him down a lot, but still, this is one of the best cards to come out of Noble Victories, and hey, just give him a special metal energy so, you know, he doesn't get knocked out that easily. Cabal Ian is just an awesome card, man. Number 7. Flippin Victini. Victini's ability, Victory Star, really did change a lot of decks. In fact, it changed our format a lot. It's a basic legendary with 60 HP, which isn't that good, and its attack still isn't very good, but its ability is just amazing. Victory Star makes it so you can reflip coins that you flip tails on during an ability, which is honestly just amazing, and it's going to create a lot of decks in the near future, which format changes. I have a feeling that Victini is going to be extremely important in the next format change. However, he's still a magnificent play. Number 6. Pokemon Collector. Hey, I can use any card I want, right? Shut up. Oh, okay. So Pokemon Collector, just take 3 Pokemon out of your deck, basic Pokemon, put them in your hand. Greatest start, especially works well with 6 corners, Cake, Typhlosion Prime, Reshiram. It works well in any deck, honestly. And Pokemon Collector is a staple of, well, the TCG history just in general. Pokemon Collector is just an awesome card, and it would be a crime not to put it on the list, frankly. Number 5. Electric. This card is simply put overpowered. In the next format change, this card is definitely going to be a godly deck that everyone's going to want to watch out for. However, Electrike's ability is the reason why it's so good. Electrike can take energy from the discard pile and attach them to bench Pokemon, which is simply put amazing. It works well in Magnezone Prime too, which is awesome. It also works well with Raichu's ability Voltage Increase that lets you attach all the benched electric energies to Raichu and to do 120 damage. Electric just works in nearly every single electric deck. Just throw a couple Zekroms together in electrics and apparently you have a deck. Hey, it works awesomely, so I'm calling it a deck. Electric is just amazing. Number 4. Alright, we're moving on to the best of the best. Reshiram and Zekrom. Alright, we already know what Outrage and the 130 HP is extremely helpful for these two. However, their 2 attacks make up the best. Blue Flare for 2 fire energies and a colorless does 120, but then you discard 2 fires off Reshiram. This is good with Typhlosion Prime, so you can get back those discarded energies and Blue Flare every turn. And that's why Reshiram and Typhlosion are such a deadly combination that is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Zekrom is nearly as good, if not better. Like I said, he's the same exact thing as Reshiram in terms of outrage HP, although he's an electric type. And his attack Bolt Strike for 120 damage has you fork over 2 electric energies in a colorless, but you do 40 damage to yourself. This might be better than Reshiram just because you don't need a way to get your energies back. However, they're both amazing cards. Number 3. Remember when I was saying how electric can fit into almost any electric deck? Well, here's one of them. In fact, probably the best one. Magnezone. Magnezone is downright cheap, honestly. When you look at him straight on, there's absolutely no reason why this card shouldn't, like, cost as much as it does. Its Pokepower Magnetic Draw lets you draw until you have 6 cards once during your turn, which is just, you can always have a good card size, good hand size, which is amazing. Its attack Loss Burn for an electric and a colorless does 50 times damage, and depends on how many energy you put into the Lost Zone. So if you put 2 energy from your bench into the Lost Zone, you'd be doing 100 damage, 50 times 2, which is really good. You could just deal an insane amount of damage and knock out EXs, so Magnezone will be a good counter for that, I suppose. It has 140 HP, so it's going to be extremely hard to one-shot, and its weakness to fighting would be annoying against Doniphan, but it's still extremely playable, and it would be a crime not to put Magnezone high on the list. Number 2. Mewtwo! While I still prefer the regular Mew, Mewtwo is still very awesome. In fact, he's probably the second best card, as you can see. Mewtwo has 170 HP. He's an EX, which means that your opponent takes 2 whole prizes if they kill him. However, if they do kill him, I'm going to give them my own personal high five, because he's freaking amazing. For a colorless, he can use the attack X-Ball for 20 plus damage, which does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to you and the defending Pokemon. Depending on the circumstance, you can one-shot every single thing in the format. In fact, Mewtwo EX is so strong and so overpowered, it's actually being put into many decks so it can counter itself. Isn't that insane? Anyway, its second attack, Side Drive, for a colorless and 2 psychic energies, does 120 damage, and then you discard one of the energies. Similar to Reshiram, right? While it's not as good as X-Ball, it's still extremely good. There's really no negative factors about Mewtwo EX, and I can't complain about him whatsoever. He's just amazing, man. The best card in our playable format is Catcher. If you didn't see this coming, I swear. I mean, how could you not put Pokemon Catcher on this list? Switch your opponent's active with a bench. I mean, that's just great for getting free prizes, and it works in nearly every deck. You need it in every deck to succeed, actually. And some people are going to say, oh, well, why wasn't Doniphan number 1 or something? Well, Doniphan was my number 11, and I kind of feel like Doniphan has lost a lot of its power due to a lot of other cards in popular decks. However, Pokemon Catcher is amazing. Without it, the format would just be so much different, and everyone needs those catchers, and every deck needs Catcher at this point now. So Catcher is just such an important card. You need, like I said like about 10 times already, you need the catchers. They're just extremely cheap, good for getting cheap prizes, and they are literally put in every deck, so they even the odds. Catcher is the best card in HeartGold Soul Silver format. Thank you for watching. I hope you join me on the main TcgTips episode, which will be episode 3. I don't know who's going to do it, me or Mr. Zekrom Master, but until that time, see you later.